Hello everyone, welcome to the RORA Spec Miata round 3 race 1 review. Just going to go through all the clips, see what happened, who was at fault, if anyone was, how incidents could have been avoided, things that I thought were cool, just see what's there. It looks like I got the replay working, 5th time's the charm. So the first race, as usual, was a rolling start, with the grid being the inverse of qualifying, with qualifying results being Beck, Seatom, Kopolak, Wadzi, DJ, Top, Chair, Axel, Corey, Ace Captain, Zornan, Skullshot, Haters Gonna Hate, Burnout, Bacon, Most Wanted, Grumpy is Zero, Nevada, Nick PSU, Darkzer, Garuda, Born as Ghosts, and Kiwi Chris. So the grid, this is a rolling start. It's going to be 2x2 in the reverse of qualifying, and I'm reasonably sure that in addition to myself dirtying my second lap, Garuda and Born as Ghosts and Kiwi Chris also dirtied the laps, because normally we would not qualify in such positions. So this is just your standard outlap, nothing really interesting here. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit to the interesting bits. So for all the clips, when it says like lap 1, lap 2, whatever, that's not the racing lap, that's the lap in Forza. So the first racing lap is lap 2, just so there's no confusion there. So this is a hill called the Black Run. It's going to feature in most of the Clipperinos that we're going to look at today. And I know that the first incident is actually extremely quick off the line, so I'm going to switch right away to somebody who had a good eyeball full of it in Niche PSU, assuming his start wasn't a dumpster fire. I think he had a good start, so this should work. So qualifying order is read off. Everyone was 2x2 for the most part. I don't think there's any issues on this start. Looks like we got a good spread. And as soon as the leader gets to the line, I'm going to illustrate this with the photo view. That is when the race was launched. So first off, let's get rid of some of that aperture, because that's going to screw people up a little. That's a little better. So let's move away from the cars. So we're on the pit straight here. We're coming along. And actually, no, there's another corner, so I'm a little ahead of myself here. So the field's just doing their thing. Nice gridded up. A little bit of an accordion, but what are you going to do? As soon as we get around this right-hander here, that is when the race is going to begin. So let's stay on board with Niche. I'm going to switch over to game cameras now. Far chase. There we go. This lets me look around a bit easier. Nice car, Niche. I like the scotch tape type thing you got going on there. So first thing you're going to notice is that some people clutch drop and some don't. So just watch my car. Here's me, 24. Here's Garuda. Here's, I believe that's Kiwi, and I believe that's Born. Actually, no, this is Kiwi, and this is Born as Ghost. Alright. So you hear that da-da-da-da-da-da-da, listen for it again. That's me riding the clutch. And then you get to the line, you dump it, and you get a huge run. Nick did not do that. So here we go. And let's see what happens. Nothing too eventful so far. But let's take a look at the Clipperinos, because I know there's a bunch. Now, something tells me Kiwi Chris actually labeled his wrong. He did, so that's the next lap. But the first thing that's going to happen on this lap is that Most Wanted is going to disconnect, and it's going to cause just massive amounts of incident-filled funniness in the rest of the field. Now, at the time, he was running pretty up high field in 8th, so let's ride on board with him until he disconnects. We're going to get an okay run through here. Really good-looking car. Gonna ride right on the tailpipe of Niche. Here's the big jump. Woo! Get some serious air there. The start was actually pretty clean, except for this. So he's gonna disconnect right about here, and his car is just gonna cause chaos. So flip around, and he's not even in the car anymore. He's just disconnected. So big crash is gonna happen, and that's where he disconnects, right here. So let's rewind the clock a little bit to the point of impact, and then we'll evaluate what's going to happen. So he disconnects somewhere right along this lines. Now let's go to our clips and watch those. So the first one I think is from Beck. and this is the aftermath of the disconnect. So we have Beck here, Popolak, and Seatom. Now Beck had started right in the back, so he's going to come up on the tail end of this. So again, we have Beck, Popolak, and Seatom. The incident's somewhere over here at this time. So you're going to see a little bit of smoke coming up right there. Here's some spinning cars. And Beck's just going to breeze right on through here. We can't really tell what happened because he's so far back. Textbook avoidance. And the caution was called shortly after that, so that pass was fine. Now let's watch our next clip, which is from Zai. Labeled
When the caution comes out, no more passing.
There's me. So again, he's got a good view of it. So
when the caution comes out, no more passing.
Up there, that blue car. That's who crashed.
Jesus, all of a sudden game audio.
I see smoke up there. Oh, most wanted spun.
Oh no!
Single car. Oh,
Single?
there's a lot of contact.
No, many cars.
No, that's single.
Oh.
No one was like backwards.
So there's a little
except for the
confusion.
first one did. It's single.
So
Oh,
single.
wait.
No,
And then
There's two of us back here.
Top
So
finally
caution.
makes it
It's a
clear.
caution.
Yeah,
Caution.
caution.
So Kiwi's the leader.
And now
Yeah, I
there's
just saw it on.
Here's some chair. I think he might have a little bit of a better view than this, actually. So this is, again, coming into the jump. We're coming into Stadtplatz here. This is the S's. And he's gonna... You see that blue car? That's who we're looking for. Yep. There's the spin. Here's chair. He's trying very hard to avoid this. He's gonna get around it just fine. Alright. Nothing too crazy there. Make sure. I heard a pop on the mic. I want to make sure it's still picking it up. And it looks like it is, so we're okay. So then we have Seatom, but he's also at the back, and you kind of already saw his perspective when Beck's clip was up. So let's just take a look at Seatom's clip. So he's just well behind the whole incident. It's way off in the distance. You can see this coming a mile away. He's lifting, he's being smart. You can see cars just carnage. Beck doesn't slow down as much, but you know, it's Beck. Seatom makes a little contact, but you know, he was sorry to slow down. Just giving it a squeeze, didn't do anything wrong there. So that's the wreck. Now let's see again. Now you see he's loose. So now let's jump back a few cars to Axel, who's right behind all this, and watch what Axel does. So you can see he probably doesn't even think he's disconnected at this point. He's just gonna hope he slides in front of him, and he does. Okay, nothing too crazy there. Let's go back to Dr. Chair we've already seen. I'm going to slow it down. Now, really the only person who gets unlucky here is Skullshot, because he's going to assume that Most Wanted's going to stay in the wall, and he's going to turn back across, and Skullshot's going to get ricocheted to the wall, and that's what's going to send Zai in the wall. And there you can see Corey get sideways, and top, and then the big crash. So there's really no action there because it was caused by a car disconnecting, but just make sure that you're being careful when you're coming up to an incident like Seatom was. He was extremely cautious approaching it, and it showed because, you know, you can see he's lifted and he could have made that collision a lot worse, but because he showed some composure and slowed down, he just gave top a little bump. Popolak was there, and away we go. And there's nothing too wild about that. Now, I believe the next set of clips occurs on lap 3 when there was a crash in the slalom section. So I'm going to move over to Beck for this because it was pretty much kind of directly in his face. Now, we're under caution at this point, so there's really nothing interesting happening here. Field's just going to slow it on down here. Now, in previous races, we've been racing to a predefined spot. For this set of races, I decided to change it to where the field just slows down immediately because I wanted to maximize the amount of green running we would have, and I think it worked reasonably well. You know, we usually ended up restarting in this spot anyway, just because of where incidents happen, but it was a little bit better than racing there and then slowing everyone down again and then trying to go. It just saved a little bit of time. Now let me skip ahead to the slalom. So we're on lap 3 of the race, and I'm not going to go in and view all of those people's clips because I can get them all from the replay. That's more to just help me stay on track here. Now we've started. And I'm just going to stay on board with Beck for this because I think he's got a good face hold it. But first, let's move up to the front of the field for the little incident that I was referring to at the beginning between myself and Kiwi Chris. Now the normal line for this corner involves you don't really lift until you're well into the corner. And you can see I'm right behind Kiwi. Coming up on the outside on the banking. Now another thing that I had said with this race is that the track limits were the walls. So that was a totally legit move, me going up there. Now I'm right behind him, right behind him. Okay, that's fine. Oop. Now somewhere around here he hits the brakes super early and I give him a little tap. I know it's at the beginning. I'm going to have to go back and catch that other crash, but... Where is it? Right there. You don't brake that early normally, and I'm so close. There's just no time to react. Kiwi gets sent into the wall, but he doesn't crash. So I'm going to send that to some other people to have a nice little look at, because I'm involved, but it's just unfortunate timing and positioning there. Now where is where Beck gets murdered? Because I know it's on this lap. Let's just take a little peek here. Alright, yeah, so the crash has already happened at this point, so let's jump back. Oh, yep, definitely crash has already happened at this point. Let's see it again. Now it starts up a little front ahead here, and we see 3 cars, 3 wide. Let's go into our trusty photo mode to see who's up there. So the car we're going to be looking at is the 01 of Niche PSU, and we have Dr. Chair in the 27, and we have Haters Gonna Hate in the 69. So they're going to be coming up here to this tight corner where these guys are, and the idea is you want to come in here, follow that straight line, and take the next right apex. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to go very well for Mr. Niche, so let's see what happens to him. See, he's just minding his own business. He's going to try to move in a little bit. He's going to squeeze Dr. Chair, he's going to bounce into Haters, and he's going to bounce back into Chair, which is going to ricochet him back into Haters. This is still not a caution because it's only 1 car. Now the caution is when Beck gets pinched and he just goes tumbling over. That is the weirdest crash that I've ever seen. So let's see how Beck manages to get himself flipped at such a low speed. Alright, so we're on board with Beck, and he can see the crash happening just in front of him. He probably hasn't really processed what's happening yet. Now, what you'd normally think would happen in this case would be that 01 would stay to the right of the track and not come across. So you see Skull Shot trying to get across, he just avoids him. Beck's like, I'm going to evade this, and then he just gets Forza boxed. So yeah, you see Beck just go for a tumble, and the crash just continues in front of Beck. So let's move ahead a little and track the crash. Now Top, it would appear, gets ahead of it and stays ahead of it. So let's move to Corey, because it looks like he's one of the guys who gets taken out. So Corey's behind all this when it happens, and he can also see it happening in front of him. So keep your eye on the silver-ish car of Beck, right here, and then here's the crash right there. Alright, now Corey's just like, where do I go? He's going to try to stay right. Now he's going to get squeezed into Zai and Popolak, and there's Skull Shot getting killed. And Corey's going to get hit by Popolak while he's already spun, and everyone ahead of that's going to get away from it. So Corey was just a victim there, as was Skull Shot. They weren't the instigators of that. The whole thing was just Niche PSU getting a little behind in his steering. And unfortunately, that took out a lot of cars. So let's take a gander at that again, just to clarify what actually happened here. Alright. Now the telemetry's been pretty useless so far. Let's see if it catches anything. Yep. So yeah, he's just gonna... Did he get loose or what? Let's take a look again. Alright. He's just gonna squeeze Chair a little, and then just bibbity-boppity boomer. Here's Beck, just a passenger. C-Tom's gonna almost get spun, and then he's gonna get rolling again. Now this was not a caution because we had just had a caution on lap 2. And I said before the racing began that there needed to be at least 1 full green lap between cautions. So yeah, there's your lap 3 collision, and I believe the next thing is on lap 4, which was actually a caution. So let's go to Haters, because I believe it was him who actually had the next caution, and we'll go from there. So Haters had kind of a yo-yo type of session. You can see a little bit of lag happening there. a little unfortunate. So coming up this hill, it was possible to get both a really good run or an extremely bad run, depending on how you took it. Haters on this lap had a pretty bad run, because if you got to about 99 miles per hour at the bottom of the hill, you could accelerate up it. But if you were below that, you'd peak at about 98, and then you'd start to slow down a little bit, as you can see here. So that corner was really crucial to getting a good lap. You can see a little bit of time jumping happening, and I think that may be what caused some of the issues at the end of the race with some of the stuff. Now let's move ahead, because there's a big old pack of cars here. There's a lot of good racing happening in this race. We're on board with Wadzi, there's Axel up ahead, and Grumpy in 77. Here's Nevada going high. Ooh, good save, Axel. Now Wadzi's going to go for the undercut, and he's got him. Alright, nothing too crazy. Just a big old gaggle of cars here. Now this is up in 6th, and up out front was myself, and then Garuda and Kiwi Chris. And you can see Kiwi in that pink car right there. Here's Wadzi again. Now that incident, oh my goodness, what happened there? Now let's go back and take a look at Dr. Chair, because he got hella sideways. Alrighty. I don't anticipate there being any action coming up, so I just want to see what happened. So here's Dr. Chair, he's got Born as Ghost in the 013 there, he's got Ace Captain in 86, and Iridescent Baking directly behind him in the black car. So Chair is going to take a nice tight line into turn 1, and then he's going to bounce off of Born as Ghost, Ace is going to straighten him out a little, and away we go. Alright, that's totally fine. Just a little bit of rubbing, but you know, Miatas, it's okay. Back on haters. Now, here's the green car of Zai behind him, and I believe the still rolling meme came about right around here. But let's just check to confirm. Now, crash is in slalom, and we're in slalom, so this is where the crash would occur. So let's look on ahead. Big old gaggle of cars. See Bacon come across. That car is not actually there, that's the disconnected car. Alright, so Chair gets a little sideways. Now what happens here? And he just get behind and oh yep. So that's a turtle, and that's a caution. Yep. I thought he hit someone, but it turns out that Haters just crashed on his own. That's unfortunate. Now let's look at the steering. Now you can see he's turned right. He's trying to, he just got loose and he couldn't save it. And then he overcorrected, hooked it in the grass, and that's all she wrote. So that's just a racing incident. Just a solo rollover, no contact. It's a little unusual place to roll, but whatever. And when Beck passed him, that's when the caution was called. So there's your next caution. The next thing is, I want to say Beck, and then a crash between DJ and Born as Ghost at the end of the lap. So now let's move up to Beck for the restart. Yawn, skip ahead. We're still on lap 4 here. Skipping ahead some more. Okay, so now we're almost at the restart. Almost there. Very, very slow getting to the line. Okay, now you see Beck's pretty far back, right? Now let's watch his revs. And Beck doesn't actually drop the clutch. He just gets a good start. So he's got Inch on his right, he's got Corey on his left. Now let's see what he does. First corner, you can make up a ton of spots in the first lap. Now you don't want to use the banking on the first lap because you're not up a high enough speed to get an advantage from it. You'll actually lose spots by doing that. But there's a crash that's going to happen somewhere around here, and let's see if we can identify where they are. So it's going to be DJ and Born as Ghost, so 10th and 11th, the Dunkin' Donuts cars. So let's look at what they look like. Here's Born as Ghost right here, and here's DJ right here. So let's go back to Beck and see if we can see the lead up to it. Sometimes it's better to do that before looking at the specific cars. Okay, yep. So they just hook each other in traffic into the wall, and business as usual. So that's not really an incident, it's just unfortunate. Okay, and you see Beck's got a lot of really a lot of passes. Now remember he started like 21st or something? He's already up to 13th. Let's look at that again in real time. 1 second. Alright, yeah, so he's 17th here. He's already just passed those guys, so he was like 20th. And now let's watch Beck's incredible restart. There's they go off. Now Beck is up to 17th. Now 14th because the game is a little slow to update sometimes. Now 13th because he gets past Zai. Now he's going to take chair. It's a little bit of a nudge, but no incident. I don't think that was deliberate. Up to 12. Now Beck got an extremely good run up the black run here. Watch his clip. Let's watch his speed again. Now remember what I said earlier about you need to be at about 98, 99 miles per hour at the bottom of the hill? Beck actually got to 100. So he pretty much got that perfect. Now just watch how many cars he's going to pass. So here's Dr. Chair, and then Zornan. Now he's going to bump draft Kiwi, and that's not going to really work. So now Beck slowed down, and all of his momentum is gone. Still moving in on Kiwi here. Alright, now he's got Kiwi. So now he's up to, when it updates to the 11th, yep, there it is. Moving in on Mr. Zornan in the red car. And we got a little bit of a thing going on here. Now why was Wadzi sideways? I believe this is the aforementioned thing that was a little screwy. Let's take a look. Alright, so he's racing with Axel for the lead. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary. Let's get the telemetry. Okay. Oh, alright. So he just kind of got spun across Axel's nose there. Let's watch that again. Watch it from Axel's point of view. So Axel is fully entitled to the outside line. He's still there. He's coming out. Alright, so Wadzi just moves out a little bit. Axel's already there. If he goes out anymore, he's going to be pretty much in the wall. So let's look at that again. So here's Axel, and there's Wadzi on the inside. Alright. So Axel could move slightly more to the left here. See, he's got all this room on the left. He's not using it. Okay. Wadzi just moves over. I have a feeling he probably thought he was clear, but he was not clear. So I'm inclined to just say that's a warning to Axel for lack of spatial awareness, and maybe the same to Wadzi, but I'm going to have my other team of people who review stuff take a look at that just to make sure, if it's kind of a borderline warning / penalty type deal. Now let's just see it. Now you see, here's a good use of the banking. You see me and the orange and blue car way up there, and you see Garud is there. Now look at the run I just get off of that. It's just like, see ya! And that's the really advantage of banking. So here's lap 6. And lap 6 was really the end of the collisions per se. But there was a bit of an interesting, huge crash that happened on this lap. So it's going to require us to go back to Wadzi, wherever he ended up. And he was pretty far back there. He was 19th after that, so he did not have a good restart. So we see up ahead, there's a little bit of a meme which sort of sets this off. And it involves Kiwi Chris and Burnout Forza. So just back it up a little bit, catch the start of it. Now I had earlier said that if you cause an incident from being on the banking and coming off of it poorly, or just hitting somebody coming off of it, it was an immediate penalty. So let's see if that's actually what happened to Kiwi, or if he had it settled when he came off and then he crashed. Alright, so he came off, settled it. Alright. So that's kind of borderline. But that's not the actual caution. The caution is when Wadzi, in the 6, gets pinched. And I'm going to stay with Kiwi because you can sort of see it. Now you see here, there's a little bit of a wall that sticks out there. Let's see if I can get to the moment of impact, and I got it. So you see this little cone here, and this section of wall. If you hit that, you're going to crash. And as you can see, the cars are all unloaded here, so the cars are not very responsive when you're at this point in the track. And you can even see that a little bit in Bacon's suspension. He's not on the ground anymore on the front. So keeping this little setup in mind, keep your eyes on this Bic car, because he just goes flying through the air. And I believe this was a caution. Boom! Yeah, he's just sailing. Nothing, absolutely nothing you can do about that. He's going to get hit by Kiwi and Bourne. Kiwi's going to spin back across. Wadsy's going to keep tumbling. I think he actually got hit by Popolak again. Nope, Popolak missed him. Wadsy's going to keep tumbling. Keep on choogling. Just ridiculous. That was a crazy crash. Now let's go back to Wadsy. Here he is. Just not having a good day, this chap is. I want to see that incident from the beginning, from his point of view, because that was a mess. So we can see that there's a mess going on here. He's got a huge run. He's going to try to pass like 7 cars at once. So there's Zai, Popolak, Kiwi. He's going to try to go to the outside of Haters. And Haters did give him room, to be fair. Room was given. Now you can see Haters is going to move left there. Because he knows that he doesn't move, he's going to kill Wadsy. And Wadsy's just going to clip that invisible wall. And it's just going to pile in because he has no time to react. And that's all she wrote. Boom. So I'm inclined to call that one a racing incident, with a warning to Wadsy to maybe not try to pass in such an ill-advised position. But he probably didn't expect Haters to stay where he was, which may have contributed to that. Now I think afterwards something funny happened. I think Zai is just going to like try to knock him back onto his wheels, and that's just going to make things worse. I don't think it makes much difference, because I think Wadsy was in last at this point anyway. Or he would have been anyway. But in the future, Zai, that would be a penalty for hitting the car while they're already upside down. Just don't do that. But yeah, so that was the crazy crash there. So, and then on the last corner, there was a bit of a hilarious thing there. So let's go to Zai and see what it was. He claims that there was an oops on the last corner. So let's see what it was. Alright, so the field's under yellow. And I think this is the one and only time we try to restart where the field wasn't all on the same section of track. And the green was called somewhere right about here, I believe. Yep, there it goes. And then immediately afterwards we realized that that was a bad restart spot, and I said I wouldn't do it again. Because up front, there's me. So we've learned that that was not a good idea. So let's see what this little oopsie thing was. We're on board with Burnout, the 156. And seems okay so far. Maybe a little wide. Oh, my goodness. Oh! What happened to Top Fuel Man? I think that's what he was referring to. Let's go to TFM. There he is. Jump back a section. Did he get punted, or did he just lose it? Alright, so Top's looking 4th. Just after the restart, he's got Grump behind him, he's got Axel in front of him, with Garuda also there. And then Darks are up first. The Top's going to go wide, Axel's going to get loose, light contacts, and then Grump's going to get loose and the dead. So let's see what happened to Grump, see if he did that intentionally or if he just lost it. Who? Oh, alright. So you may have been innocent, Mr. Guy. Actually, no, he's not. Okay. So here goes Grump. He's in 5th, trying to get 4th. He's going to take the lunge. Now this is a legit line, because I said the track limits were the walls. I think he's going to bounce off the wall. He's bounce off the wall. Overcorrect it. Slide up in the top. Almost loses it. Now Beck's going to come in. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Now there would be no that would be a caution normally, but since we just had the restart, no caution. So Grump is down and Top is down. You know, why did he spin? Was that from the tap with Beck, or did somebody else get into him? Let's take a look. Okay, so we see Nevada and Beck get into it. Beck just doesn't know he's there. Now they're going to save it because they're good at that sort of thing. Grump's going to get whacked, and the chair's going to seal the deal. There's no time to react. There he goes. Now they're going to do a great job of not coming back into the field, except for Top, but I think he's kind of a passenger at that point. Let's see. Let's watch that full time, or in like full speed. Okay, so he's got it saved, and then he just gets hit. Lock the brakes. Tries to get it straightened out. Oh god! And yeah, that's not the best of rejoins from Top, but no one died. So that's probably just going to be a warning to Grump, because he just bounced off the wall. The hitbox isn't so great on that wall. And then Top for the questionable rejoin. He should have stayed more to the left instead of going back to the middle of the track. So that's lap 6, and pretty much to the end of the race, it was pretty much just clean racing. Now I'm going to look at the results real quick, but we had a legitimately close race. It was only 4 seconds from first to second, then another second back to third, and then 6 seconds, and then it was just really tight battles all down the field. I think from Born as Ghosts back to Garuda, the 4 positions there were separated by under 1 second. So it was a really good finish. So there's really no other incidents to report from this race. The only thing I'm really going to go through is some of the little contacts that happened. And I think most of that can be done just through really just through Twitch, honestly. But let's not really go into the semantics here. The next really crash type thing, not even a crash, it was Beck getting a really good run on Nevada. So let's go to Beck, who at this point was pretty high up the field, considering he started in 23rd position. So here's Beck. So yeah, it's just big old gaggle of cars here. Let's get ahead. So Beck was on a mission to get to the lead, and to do that, he had to get through Garuda, he had to get through Axel, and he had to get through me. So yeah, here's his run up the hill. Beck got a great run up the hill. So he's keeping 100 miles an hour-ish. And he's going to breeze right on past Garuda, and he's going to breeze right on past Axel. So from then on out, it was just Beck trying to catch him. So let's see how he did that. So he's still got that momentum going from the black run. It really is the most important corner on the whole track. So Beck's going to try to take a narrow line, which is going to lose some entry speed, but he's going to get more options on his exit. I'm going to get a little bit loose, but ultimately retain the spot due to a little bit of trivial contact. Again, it's Miatas, that's how they race, that's totally acceptable. And we're going to see some different lines going into turn 1. Beck's going to go for the tight line, I'm going to go for the banking. Now, the tight line is good for trying to maintain a position, the banking is good for trying to get a run. Because even though I hit the wall, I get a much faster exit than Beck out of turn 1, at the expense of getting extremely loose. Now Axel's going to rejoin the fray here and give a little booty tap. And you see the jump, different lines through there. Beck's is more of a defensive line because of Axel, mine's more of a running for my life. Now you see my car's going to get very loose there, and Beck's going to pounce on that. He's going to go to the left, and there's your pass. And that's pretty much the end of the race for everyone except for Beck. I'm going to try to fight back, but can't carry as much speed when you do that, and that's all it really took. So well played, Beck. So the other incident isn't really going to be captured on the replay because of the length of the replay, so we're just going to skip ahead. Kiwi and Nevada had a little bit of some issues. Nevada's controller died with absolutely no warning, and you can see that he was well ahead of Kiwi, who was in 21st position. Now let's see what's going to happen here. Boom! Just totally unsighted. Had no idea it was there. Just boom. Let's watch it again. You can't really tell there's a car there. And then suddenly, oh god! Oh, boom. Nevada had no comms. His controller wasn't working. He just invisible, and that was the little impact. So ultimately, it ended up with Cubic Race finishing ahead of Nevada because of that little incident. That's just technical problems. There's no action there. And here's a C-Tom's end of race clip. He's trying to do a slide job on his right. So normally, when you're going to do the pass, you'd want to be over here. And he's going to make light contact, slide it. Now Zornian's going to fight back really, really well. And you can see he's going to do the cutback, get a much better run out, and breeze right back to C-Tom. He wisely tries to fit him off, and that's the end of it. So overall, this was probably one of the most clean races we've had in Spec Miata so far. There was a lot of close, good racing, but there was also a lot of crazy crashes. So I think we had a decent, good run at the end there. It was pretty much green at the end. So this is probably going to be the shortest review out of all of them. But yeah, so decent race, replays shared, and on to race 2 after I collate all the clips from that. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped you in some way. Alright.